Good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Hey and welcome today. Today you're joined by me, Daniel, and welcome to my channel. This is my YouTube channel, or welcome to my Twitch if you're watching this on Twitch. I usually stream to Twitch and then I export to YouTube. I think last week went a little bit funny or something, like the start of it wasn't fully kind of there. So with that one, I still had it on Twitch, but I did have to kind of export it through recording it, through the recorded version of it. Yeah, so, welcome today. This is my channel. I am working on page 13, as you can see here, so it's kind of the last little bits of it, to finish it off. And that means we're getting very close to kind of the end of my book. I've only got one more page to stream with. I've got the title page, and I've now decided to do a video with just all my edited pages, just me editing some pages. Make one or two videos from that, and then I will move on to me editing another book that I'm been working on. So yeah, yeah, thanks for joining me. If you do join me, I really do appreciate it. And it's been obviously a long time making this book and creating it. It's been a huge project, and yeah, it's been my main focus so far. And yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to discuss a little bit more today. Is yeah, focusing on the important things, on what's important. I do discuss this in many ways. In my channel, on my videos, me talking about what's important to focus on, and things like that. And it comes up in conversations when I do chat, what you kind of focus on, learning and creating and things like that. I have talked about that as well, about the difference between learning and producing, and how to balance them both. And it's always important, yeah, to try and balance them as well. Try and balance what's important, what to focus on, and producing stuff. Because it's good to produce stuff, to make stuff for your portfolio, build that up in pieces that you can share on your social medias, for various reasons. Yeah, and get your work out there. But it's also important to keep learning, keep progressing forward in your career, and moving forward onto the next next thing, next project, next learning curve, advancement, those things. It's always important to learn that. Yeah. And at the moment, I am mainly focused on my YouTube channel and my book, getting this book finished. I mean, the main real focus is kind of finishing off this book and getting it to a printed format. Getting it out there, blah blah. That's at the moment it's slightly my focus. But my main focus, finishing off this book. Trying to get it finished, and the YouTube has kind of helped with that, so I've used it in a way to add focus as well. Like I said in some of my YouTube videos, it helps me to keep on track. I have to create a video every 2 weeks or every week, but a page every 2 weeks, or finish a page off every 2 weeks or something like that, or 3 weeks, depending on how much content I've got in a page. So it keeps me focused to keep moving forward and keep doing stuff, keep creating this book, and keep focusing on trying to build up this book and also in turn it will give me some pages that I could add to my portfolio, change it around and things like that. A page or two that I do like, um, that I could add into my portfolio to grow it as well. So it's always helpful to have that there. And yeah, that's my main focus. And this does mean that, you know, there are some things that stopped me from doing, to not focus on basically. For instance, um, I pretty much like, well, at the moment I don't have a lot of time, but it is, you know, me constantly looking for jobs and things like that, applying for them. I'm less focused on that now. Um, I mean, I'm out there looking for work if, you know, um, if there is illustration work that I can do. But while, you know, I don't have you know, a job to do, um, illustration wise, at home, I'm focusing on this. You know, I'm focusing on my YouTube channel, on my yeah, creating this book, uh, to push forward. Yeah, and that's what, you know, my main focus is, apart from, you know, working and paying the bills and everything else. The other, you know, the other focus is doing this, which, yeah, it's important to me. You know, I mean, you can have, I kind of think you can have like two focuses. You know, one's obviously to pay the bills and survive, and the other ones are more, you know, something that keeps you happy and keeps you going, keeps you moving forward in your life, and then keeps you sane. um, yeah, it's interesting. Before this, I was listening to how there's a goal setter and um, a value kind of setter. And it's interesting to hear that. You know, there's one person that's all life is all about goals. You know, achieving those goals, getting to the next goal, achieving that goal, getting to the next goal. You know, and then there's the other one. It still has kind of goals. Um, they're not so important though. They're enjoying kind of the journey. You know, the journey of getting to the goal per se. You know, um, and definitely, you know, I don't know what it'd be. I'd say value for me because I do enjoy kind of the process of getting there, the process of getting to finish my book. That has been very enjoyable. You know, seeing each page come to light. Um, I mean, I do really want to get to the end goal of finishing my book. Um, but I do enjoy the whole process and creating the book and finishing off. And when I do, you know, when I do get to the finish, um, I will obviously, I've got to be really happy with it as well. So yeah, you know, I've got to be really happy, and that's um, kind of good. You know, I'm not just, I've accomplished that. I've accomplished finishing a book. Let's go to the next goal. I do um, look at it, and if I do need to change it, anything that needs to be fixed, I'm gonna go back and fix it. You know, because I enjoy fixing it as well. If there's anything I can improve on, because I mean there are some pages that I did probably a year back, half a year back, somewhere around there. So I have improved a little bit since then, and so I can go back and touch up some pages. Not every page does, like some of these, page 13, 14, 12 even, they might need a little touch up, some of them, but I'm pretty happy with the way they did turn out, so they won't need a lot of fix-ups. They might, I'll go over all the pages, and they might need a little bit of a touch-up. But it's not going to take me long, probably, if there is a touch-up that needs to be done. I was pretty happy with how this page turned out in the end, so yeah. And also another focus, working on a portfolio and getting jobs and that kind of thing, that's been off my radar for a little bit. I mean, it is a thing that I do think about. I do try and keep up to date and look for and try to get forward in that kind of thing, but some of it I don't exactly have full control. I have control obviously on my portfolio and improve that, but I can't improve it in a day. I've got to have works that I can move into it, and change it up and fix it up and things like that. So moving forward on these paintings and gonna put them into my portfolio and review my portfolio from there, and that's something that is on my radar. And always, I do focus in, I would say for myself, I do kind of focus in on one thing at a time usually, but there are other focuses outside of that, that I might slowly touch upon. Like Instagram, I am slow. I post every day on that. So my kind of social presence. YouTube, obviously. I'm creating 2 videos a week and trying to share them, and then making different topics and things like that. Focusing in on some other little bits and pieces on the YouTube channel. Some on weekly tips, I get to cover a lot of different topics. Some I don't, cover here in these kind of videos. Chit chat videos that I talk about. With these talking videos, I seem to focus, on the lifestyle of an artist, really. And how to kind of improve and keep creating and learn from a lot of artists from around the world. I've had so many great artists in here that I've had to chat to, and they've been awesome to chat to, and really do enjoy it. I really do enjoy creating, well, enjoy chatting with all these great artists, and learning from them too. So it's great to have, and focusing on finding other artists is something else as well, and growing how many artists I do know, and learning from their story and things like that does really help. It gives me a joy, to meet these artists and really get to know them, and it's great. Here, I'm editing a lot of grass. I think that's something I've gone a little bit better at. Trying to make it kind of simple, but it doesn't take me hours now. It's to kind of work it out. I kind of, at the end of the solo, really, I've kind of got a flow to painting, that kind of thing. There's something that's quite can be kind of complicated in a way. Intricate, I think I want to say, more kind of difficult. I wouldn't say difficult, but it's got a lot of details in it. So, but there are ways around it, and trying to find solutions that are, not so hard, and it's quite easy to get your head around it and understand where the light flows. At the start of this, I had kind of white grass for the light tones where the light was hitting the grass, but in reality, it's like that need to be toned back to be a lighter green, not a white. So I had that kind of um, change in the way I painted in the last like year or two. That it's like, oh, this definitely needs to change. That it doesn't work at all. The little learning curves um, that have developed. And that's the thing is, you're focusing on learning as well. It's always important to keep moving forward, keep learning. If you're just painting and producing, um, yeah, like I said, a few of my other videos, you got to keep creating, but learning is important. I was listening to, I say a lot, Bob Shell channel, but he was talking a bit about how, um, you know, on Instagram and things like that, pushing learning isn't important these days. Pushing like fancy drawings and pieces of art that look amazing is pushed more, in social media and things like that, rather than you learning skills and things. In terms of art, we always look at the fancy drawings, the amazing paintings and things like that, but we don't look at you know um, the learning curves. And I quite enjoy actually like seeing some artists learn as well. It's quite enjoyable um, to see someone start out and then 3 years later or 5 years later or how long it takes them, um, they're actually producing quite good work, and they get on your radar. It's really good to see that. Since I've been an artist myself and I've seen other artists out there in the world, and watch some of them, I see their work advance and see where they go and what they do, their movements. Seeing, for instance, like Ross Draws. He I seen him at the start. 4 or 5 years ago or something, and it was pretty good. Some might argue it was really really good, back then even, um, but it was quite good. Um, I mean, I was at a lower level, so I thought he was, the bee's knees. But now, looking at his work like 4 or 5 years later, it's just so much, it's so much has changed in his work, and it's so much better. I mean, his work back then was awesome as well, but now it's so much better. It's so much, you know, uh, it's improved so much. It's great to see those artists grow. Um, yeah, his work obviously, yeah, years back, his work was great as well, but now, it's got a different feel to it. Um, I think it used to do a lot of kind of anime, to begin with, kind of a thing. Um, but now you can see the style shift and the kind of change in that. It's awesome to see, and it happens with a lot of artists. Um, and some other artists that I have watched and seen, their artists, their work kind of grow, and like really, oh my gosh, they blow my mind sometimes at the work they do produce. It's great to see that happen, and that's why it is important to keep learning and keep focusing on learning. That's the most important thing you can do for your career, or your art in general, is focus on learning. Um, I focus as much as I can. I do obviously have content to create, um, but even if you do um, make a day or a certain amount of hours in a week, or whatever your schedule's like, even if it's a month, and every month you have to spend so much time learning, um, it's something, basically. The way I do it is, at the moment I'm doing reference drawing, so for half an hour a week, I do reference drawings from reference. This is up and down. Like some weeks, obviously, at last minute, I'm only just doing it. Hear me at 11:30 at night, trying to get my half an hour in of um, reference drawings. And some weeks I've done 2 hours of reference drawings. 30 minutes is the minimum, and I try my best to keep that up. I have a little notebook on my computer, so feel free to have a physical one, or if you prefer, like me, to have it on my desktop, it's there, I know it's there, and I can book it in. Be like, I've done this many minutes each week, blah blah, it's there. I don't have to rustle around in my room trying to find my notebook. You might be more tidy than me. You might have a bookshelf near to you, or something to put your books in that is easy to find it, and have a time schedule book or something. I don't have the luxury of all that stuff, but it's fine because I make do with what I do. I have my drawing book. I do have a schedule, like a diary. It's called the yeah, sorry, what was it called? It's a treehouse diary. It's called a treehouse diary. Basically, it's like a diary, but it has illustrations in it, so creative texts and imagery. Just brings you joy to see and watch, and it also has in it to-do lists and to-don't lists, which is cool to see. And usually I do fill it out Monday to Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday though, I'm not the best at filling it out. Usually those 3 days. Friday, I kind of relax in a way. I kind of still do my painting and all my streaming or whatever I do, but I'm more relaxed on a Friday than I am those 3 days. Those 4 days, Monday to Thursday, I've got my weekly drawings. So usually when I do my weekly drawings, I do my fill out that schedule, and then I do my drawing. That's usually how I do. But yeah, Friday obviously I don't do it because I'm not doing the daily drawing, so I'm kind of relaxed. I'm having lunch and then just I might do some drawing some Fridays, but usually it's just whatever it is. And then Saturday and Sunday is a weekend, so usually I'm focused on trying to get these paintings done and trying to do what needs to be done really. And also if I do get time, also watch any YouTube videos that I wanted to watch. And usually in regards to learning, Bobby Chill's channel, Adam Duff's channel, some other art YouTube channels that do give some great advice. Roberta Blake had one that I watched this weekend. Yeah, some awesome YouTubers and artists. Also Schoolism if I can as well. Watch some of that to learn. At the moment I'm learning from Craig Mullins. It's been on digital painting, so I'm just slowly doing that. Again, learning that. Also some other, just doodles if I do doodles. Getting together YouTube videos if I need to for some reason, all those important things during the weekend. So I don't really take much time out to do those scheduling on the weekend. Usually it's usually Monday to Thursday, but it's interesting because usually the to don't lists are put in on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so it's interesting. I might have to one time make sure they do that schedule on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday or whatnot at some point. You know, I mean, it doesn't take too long, so you know, just doing that might be interesting. It does help, you know, to do those because then I could, in those to-do lists, I got things to do, and in the whole weeks, I can jot down what I've done as well and what I've achieved during the week. You know, whether I've exported a video, scheduled in a stream with an artist, I can put that in there. Artists I've got contact or anything like that, I can put that in there too. So it's good to have that little schedule there that I could use. I don't always use it, but it's there if I want to use it as well. I think it would be helpful to use it more, I guess. You know, it seems like if you do kind of schedule things in, you know, a big project or a big or something that looks really big, you can break it down to small chunks, and then from there it doesn't feel so big. For instance, like learning anatomy, it's a really big thing, you know, learning anatomy. But if you break it down to, you know, learning drawing the head, and mastering that, and then moving on to, you know, drawing the hands and mastering that, you know, you slowly progress, rather than being like, I'm going to improve on anatomy. You take forever because you've got no focus there. If you're just learning and trying to improve on anatomy, if you break it down to little tasks and little achievements, little things that you can do, it's more achievable. You know, it's makes the bigger goal way more achievable. You know, getting way better at anatomy, and then you break it down to, you know, getting better at drawing the head, getting better at drawing the hands, getting better at drawing the feet. Yeah, it slowly becomes little goals, and then once you've done all those goals, you've achieved that bigger goal of getting better at anatomy. And it's so good to do, you know. I always do that. I'm doing that in this book, you know, finishing this book. You know, I haven't gone, I need to finish the book. I've gone, well, I've broken it down. I've got to do a title page, so I've worked on the title page. I've got to then, you know, edit all kind of the pages, so the text, done the text, the book page and numbers, the placement, you know, place the book, maybe get a quick print of it or something. You know, these little goals that are achievable that I can do, that, you know, don't take me years to try and achieve, but I can slowly do them, and then it, you know, it breaks down the time as well. You know, if you do these little goals, they may only take a couple of weeks or a week each. Rather this big goal, you know, you going everywhere. You know, if you go for this bigger goal, say of, you know, like I said before, just learning anatomy, you'll probably go here, there, and everywhere, try and be, oh, how do I learn anatomy? And then you just draw humans, and you're like, oh, I'm getting better anatomy. But you just, you know, you're just going around in circles, not knowing if you're improving or not, you know. And if you do the smaller goals, you know that you've improved on this aspect of it. And you can, you know, it's like having little categories. You know, you're in an RPG game, going around leveling up, you know, your strength, and then your strength's really good but your defense is bad, so then you go back and you level up your defense, you know. And you do it that way, and then you focus on the important bits, you know, getting all the important bits. You know, I would say in a sword game per se, you know, this is kind of logical, would be leveling up, you know, your HP or your health bar or whatever, if you can. your strength, and your defense. So those are kind of the three top things if you're going for that kind of game style or whatever. To level up. So you level those things up. Say in art, it would be, um, the fundamentals. I'd say anatomy, lighting. Maybe those three things. I mean, there's different things, but maybe those three things are quite important. I mean, there's a lot of important aspects, but if you did dabble in like every little thing, it'll kind of take you forever to improve. But if you dabble and improve on what's important to your art and your style and your illustrations. For instance, it could be character, so you improve on character. It could be creature, so you improve on creature. It could, the fundamentals, lighting, so many things. If you focus on, there's maybe three things that are really important to your goals, and then once you've mastered those three, start to branch off and slowly improve other things. And that's what I feel is kind of important. Same, with those RPG games, you focus on surviving. You're surviving, getting your strength. So you survive against big beasts or monsters or whatever you're doing. Same with health and defense, so you survive against him, and then you branch off to do, maybe it's magic, or maybe it's magic, stamina, running around fast, so you can dodge faster. So you can do, with magic, maybe you can do way more effective attacks or something like that. It's the same, with illustration. You branch off. You get really good at drawing characters, but then you can branch off and do creatures, and that way you get way better at drawing, characters with creature-like aspects to them. Characters that have fangs, or characters that have that are orcs. Not just humans. They are orcs, or some sort of animal-like creature. It does help to branch off. It can add to your characters or your creatures very effectively. I go out and branch off every now and again. I've done characters, character designs, and character and creatures, things like that. And it does help to go and do characters and then come back to creatures, and it does play into that. Or any other aspect, learning, lighting and shading and things like that. Everything helps. But yeah, having those kind of three key focuses in your style or art towards your goal does help, because you can slowly just get those really up, and then once those are mastered, go back and do other things. I think I've kind of done that myself. I've mastered doing animals, drawing animals. Kind of started with that kind of aspect, animals, and main things, lighting and shading, drawing animals. Kind of the three aspects in a way. And then I kind of branched off, creatures. I went from animals to creatures. Then I branched off creatures to characters. And it's improved me dramatically. Just, improving on like a few things, and then slowly improving on a few other aspects. So yeah, having a focus does help to move you forward in life, really. Having a main focus, main big focus, but not knowing how to go about that can be very hard. And that's kind of what I'm trying to say in this video, in a way. I'm always, for me, had a focus. For instance, I think my first uh, focus was getting into design school, some way of learning how to draw and create. And then, from there it was, passing and learning and everything like that, and trying to get as much as I can out of these courses. Um, yeah, and things like that. Um, I think that though I did have a period where I could have been learning a bit more. I could have learned a bit more before I went to course, because I had that. I was obviously young, but I was in a state where um you know it was kind of me getting, oh, if I was at this course, that was the end all of it all. It would mean that I would know how to draw, blah blah blah. Where I could be learning to draw before then. I did slowly learn to draw, and I was drawing at the time, but I feel like um, I could have of pushed it a little bit more, and learned a little bit more. Um, but it is what it is, and it was great to do that course. I focused on, getting past and getting those courses and focusing on improving my illustration skills. And then from there, passing the course, graduating, and then focusing on me learning again after the course. Still focusing on improving my portfolio and everything like that. And then, I moved towards getting better at creatures, and then now I've focused bigly on doing this book as well. And this has been, really good to focus on this book. And now, after finishing this book, which I'm kind of close on doing, quite close, I'll be focusing on redoing another book that I previously have done, that I will be wanting to print again. And yeah, I just looking at it, and I'm gonna polish it off and make it look good. So I'm revisiting old work, pretty much. And that's been probably 2 or 3 years since I touched that book. So it's gonna be interesting doing that. That will be my next focus. I think though, before I shift to that focus of moving into my next book, I will focus on getting this printed, basically good enough to print, and then at a printed stage somewhat, and see where I can go from there. But then I can add it to my portfolio and change it around a little bit with what works that I do have now. I think that'll be kind of my next shift in focus. And this thing, you focus shifts. I think if it stays kind of the same, it can get a bit repetitive, and you're always kind of reaching for one thing. And maybe it's like, a dog chasing a rabbit around a track. He'll never get it, So, shifting, for me, shifting my importance is good to keep me focused and keep me improving on life and art in general. But yeah, just having a focus is great. If I had one focus on life, I don't think I'd be exactly happy. Because yeah, I'd be a dog and I'll never get there. I'll never get that rabbit. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed me chatting away and then seen me finishing this page off, page 13. That means I've only got one more book to actually do. well, one more book, one more page to actually finish. But that's not the end of Henry. You'll still see the title page and then me just twiddling at some pages. Don't know how many of those videos I have. I'm looking at only really doing one, but we'll see. I might have to do two. Because I kind of want to change up YouTube as well. You know, it's all been my book at the moment. So I want to change it up to my next project or my next paintings, change it up or something. May look at doing something completely different for a painting or something. But yeah, you know, I really appreciate if you did, you know, watch this series of my book being created, or if you just watch this video. I really do appreciate it. I hopefully you do focus on what is important to you, and try to break it down and try to learn as well as much as you can. Thanks for joining me in this video. Feel free to comment below, you know, if you do have a focus in life, you do, or if you break it down like I've mentioned or anything like that. I'd really appreciate to find out who does and what kind of methods you do. Yeah, so thanks for checking out my video, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.